Hi, welcome to Jordan McKenzie Sports. Uh, Thank you for joining. In the NBA, there's been a lot of news lately. For the 76ers, Joel Embiid just dropped 70 points. Astronomical performance by him against Victor Wembanyama, an upcoming rising star in the NBA. He's he's listed at 7'5", which it's like those two uh like superstars gonna be superstars in the league. Um Upcoming, apparently the Clippers are the number one seed currently after bringing James Harden, and the chemistry is now coming together with the team with Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi Leonard actually, and it's great stuff by them. And with the Dodgers, they were signed Clayton Kershaw on a 1 year deal, bringing and it's for his 17th season in the Dodger blue. And what's it called? And nextly, the Bucks coming up. Damian Lillard and Giannis have been going on a tear. Dame doing Dame things, making half court shots still. That's pretty awesome. And nextly, like Trump was just won the New Hampshire primary against Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and we'll see what the polls say in the coming future. There'll be more updates on that. Another thing with sports. Um, hmm. Oh, yeah. For Super Bowl Sunday, the Chiefs and the 49ers is going to be a very good game. And I see that there's going to be a lot of Taylor Swift fans. Great marketing, honestly. Honestly, it's going to be a great game between the two. And I think that the Chiefs are most likely going to come out with the win. Like, I'm a Chiefs fan myself, personally. It's pretty great. Great culture. Like, even without Tyreek Hill, I think the Chiefs are going to still run their offense, do what they do best. Mahomes is going to get his third ring. And it's going to be his, like, what is it going to be, like his seventh appearance in the Super Bowl? And, like, sorry, fourth appearance in, like, 7 years. Sorry. Like, honestly, he's going to be a Hall of Famer without a doubt with putting up the stats he's been doing lately. But I feel like the 49ers are going to do their thing. Christian McCaffrey's been going on a tear, honestly. It's going to be, honestly, neck and neck. The run game for the 49ers is going to be pretty good. Give them the Chiefs a good challenge. But I feel like Andy Reid, with his playoff experience and Super Bowl experience, honestly, he's going to be great. And I feel like the Lakers and with LeBron, I feel like not everything's been clicking. I feel like they're still missing a couple pieces with the Lakers. I feel like they need a bit more depth. We need definitely more consistent shooters surrounding him. I feel like yeah, AD's doing his thing, but I feel like we just need more games from him. Like if we have him more on a consistent basis, I feel like it's going to be more. I feel like they're gonna mesh very well, and hmm, I would say with honestly with the Timberwolves, yeah, Anthony Edwards has been like balling out recently. Like as a young star in the league, he's picked as a second by the Timberwolves over Lamelo. Um, Lamelo Ball, he's been actually going off recently. Him with Carl Anthony Towns, I believe he dropped actually 62 points a couple of weeks ago, around a month ago. But it's great stuff all by them. And but I feel like yeah, the Lakers could make a trade for a couple pieces. I feel like they would need like a sharpshooter, like a more like kind of like a Tobias Harris. I feel like they could use like a couple more bigs to for down low. I feel like they can dominate more against the other teams in the West and go off in a tear. And and even with like the Warriors, I feel like the Warriors made more of a mistake getting rid of like Jordan Poole, not getting rid of Jordan Poole, but like not keeping him. I feel like they're missing like another guy who can bring a spark off the bench. Great, but he's doing his thing in DC with Kyle Kuzma. But even so, it's honestly going to be a great playoff this during the off season, not the off season, the playoffs in the East and the West. My honest prediction, I feel like the Bucks are going to come out the what's it called? Come out the East, and I would say the Lakers would come out the West. That's honestly my predictions. Or it could be more likely the Clippers and the Bucks in the finals. Like it would be honestly a tight matchup. Honestly, it's hard to say who would come out the in the finals and get the in the what's it called and get no. Honestly, Russ would get his first ring, and PG would also get his first ring. It would be like a great feeling for them as players being in the league for almost 15 years, still doing great things. But even in the playoffs with football, right? Um, Lamar Jackson versus like the Chiefs. Like it was honestly, I felt like they Lamar didn't do what he was honestly best at. It was running the ball. I felt like he wanted to be more of like a in the pocket guy to try to make a statement that he's not just a scrambler, honestly, which is more like a stereotype of like black athletes being more of a just athletes, but like more having showing what he can do up there mentally with being a QB. But like it's unfortunate what happened. Like he didn't end up going to his first Super Bowl, but he's still gonna come back and prove a point next year. That's what I know he's gonna do though. Um, and with Wembanyama and like the Spurs and Popovich, I feel like Popovich can mold him to be almost like the next Tim Duncan. I feel like they're gonna be have definitely 5 championships he could possibly get. Honestly, I feel like he has the potential to be almost the goat in basketball with the right mentoring and putting on muscle, getting in the gym, things like that, and having like more of the mentality. Like, yo, he's like the best player in the league, and him knowing that, I feel like his dominance will come out more because he's basically a 7'5" KD. He has handles, all that stuff. Like, you don't really see a 7 foot guy that's going down the court and just crossing you over like he's Kyrie Irving, like a player like that. That's unseen before. But that's great stuff by them. But yeah, like lately, D'Lo also has been balling out. With he's been more here and there inconsistent, but like he's starting to mesh well, coming closer to like the trade deadline. He's been putting up a lot more points. I believe he dropped around 30 the other night. But hopefully this carries on to the postseason with them. And Austin Reeves also, like he's almost been looking like the third option on the team most nights, and he's really stepping up compared to where he, he's not even getting paid as much as these other superstars, but being bringing more production as one of them. Honestly, I honestly see him as like an all star in the next coming two 2 years. But he's been doing great stuff. Also with Jalen Brunson, also like he's been doing a great job with the Knicks. It's honestly like disappointing that they had to give off RJ Barrett. I feel like they could have retained him and still built something with the Knicks, but they've been going off recently with him and Randall, Julius Randall. But like, and it's in Brunson got his first All Star appearance this year, and it was honestly, and I saw it was emotional for him. But like seeing what all he's gone through, he's finally got his big bag in his contract with the Knicks. Like he honestly deserves it. And later with the Celtics, uh, Marcus Smart was given like a standing ovation by the Celtics fans in his first game back on a different team, which was honestly respectable of the Boston fans. At least like they gave him his flowers in that aspect. But like yeah, the Celtics and the Bucks are definitely two teams to watch out for in the East. Um, yeah, with the Celtics and like I would say, and also like Lonzo is coming back from his knee injury. See that he's putting up shots, being like one of the also other Ball brothers in the NBA. Like he's like improved since been in the league. He's came to like a been a 40% 3-point shooter, a lot more consistent on the Bulls. Like he was showing glimpses of being an all star before he got injured, and he's been out for around I would say like a year now, and he's looking almost like he's around like 90% back in terms of his productivity on the court. But like we'll see what's going on with them in the future. And also with sports, hmm, yeah, like also with sports, the Dodgers also got like uh, Otani and Yamamoto back with the Dodgers. That's great to see that. And I feel like yeah, like last year with like Kershaw. I mean, he was coming from like a 13-5 record. I believe his ERA was around 4.62. Uh, yeah, he was like honestly, he came off a solid season. Yeah, like them bringing him back, I feel like the Dodgers are looking great for the upcoming season. And what's it called? And even with the Bucks, also I saw that they hired Doc Rivers, a former champion coach with the Boston Celtics in 2008. They bring in great experience. I feel like it's a good fit for the Bucks coming up. I feel like they're gonna start meshing well, and chemistry is gonna start being there. And yeah, it's great there. Uh, but even with the Clippers, yeah, yeah, they did. They're the first seed. James Harden's been balling on the Clippers. Like like Russ took like a step down and committed to being on the bench, taking that sacrifice, and I feel like that alone speaks volumes. The type of player he is, he's willing to sacrifice a bigger role of being a third or second option on the team, and because having with Kawhi, PG, Harden, and Russell Westbrook all being mostly ball dominant players, someone has to take a back seat so they can make the dream work with the team. But it's honestly great for them. And even so, I feel like the NFL like needs to work on more of like CT awareness with certain in certain aspects. Like there's a lot of players taking a lot of head knocks, they're getting targeted, but they're not making even after years. There you see signs, people having more like lashing out, acting more in a bipolar like instance, or like are like people like are brain having brain damage. They need to have more of a open mind and sharing the awareness among other people. And And what's it called? Apparently, uh, South Africa won its. South Africa has won the Rugby World Cup. Um, I believe it's third one in the last 12 years. Um, like great job by like people like Faf de Klerk, Cheston Kobe. Great game, honestly. I felt like with New Zealand going against New Zealand, it was gonna be a tough game. It was gonna be a kicking battle. But honestly, I felt like when New Zealand they didn't make their conversions. Richie Mwanga was it was an off day, a little windy. We were just down by one kick. The game could have been solidified, but South Africa ended up getting the win at the end and getting the World Cup. Even with France, like it was hard. It was a tough loss for them against New Zealand. What's it called? Their star scrum half and player of the year, uh, Anthony Dupont, got injured, which was like a huge loss for them. Honestly, it was rough. But South Africa showed like grit. They fought for that win, and then shout out to South Africa. Yeah, and then with Super Rugby, the Crusaders were facing the Chiefs. It was honestly, yeah, it was a pretty close game. Like it was more of a forward game. They're getting it out wide. Damien McKenzie had a great game also. Um, Mwanga making majority of his conversions, and but finally uh, the Crusaders ended up beating the Chiefs and winning the cup at the end. It was a pretty great game. Um, and also the Chargers signed Dave Cannels to the team. Nah, it's honestly a great signing for them. Guy with some experience, good guy for the locker room. I feel like he bring that culture to the team for the Chargers going on going going on for the future. Um, Even so, um, oh yeah, even with college, uh, in a big game with Michigan and Ohio State, um, great game by Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyle. It was honestly upsetting with Kyle McCord how it ended in the final. He threw the game. He threw an incompletion at the end of the game, and Michigan went on to facing Bama next. And in the next game, and it was a great game by with Marvin Harrison Jr. So like most likely gonna go get drafted this year for the NFL. Then after the game, Kyle McCord ended up transferring and going to Syracuse to play football upstate New York. It was pretty, but he'll find his own path. Keep doing his great things. And after that, Michigan faced Alabama. Like for majority of the game, Alabama was winning, and in like the last quarter, Michigan came back and beat Alabama. and like a twist of events. It's pretty great stuff though. Um, Even so, it's great stuff. Yeah. Um, oh, even with the Spurs, I feel like they're not getting Wembanyama the ball enough. Like, how do you miss a guy that's basically 8 foot in the paint just to throw a lob? Honestly, like he barely has to get off the ground to jump and dunk the ball. He has like almost like an 8 foot wingspan. He could just touch the rim by just even standing. Like honestly, I predicted he could average 35 to 36 points in the next 2 years, and while averaging at least like 10 rebounds a game, which is pretty realistic. Like my prediction, he's gonna be an all-star next season, most likely. And I feel like um, but yeah, even with the Chiefs, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is proving why that contract is worth it. Honestly, yeah. For the contract he got, like showing the results. Like he's gonna almost be have as many Super Bowl appearances as Tom Brady, if not the closest. If he doesn't reach it, like he if he gets his ring, he has more rings than Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, quarterbacks like that. And what's it called? Yeah, like he's definitely showing why he's if not the best player in the NFL currently. But yeah, even with rugby, like it was unfortunate like recently um that Rugby United New York uh wasn't going to participate in the 2024 MLR season. Also another team, the Toronto, and yeah, that they all uh, are participating in the 2024 season, and it's but they ended up adding Miami, the Miami Sharks, a new team in the MLR, to the league. But uh, it's but it's honestly we have to see what's the future is gonna happen with these new teams, if they might come back in future seasons. We have to see honestly coming up soon. But yeah, like Rooney was a champion 2 years ago. They won the championship in the MLR. They got the MLR Shield. Um, and players like Ed Fido, who played for Samoa, Connor Buckley, and a guy who played here all 4 years at Iona. Like New York locals, guys from Rockaway, and in the whole NYC area, guys like Manate, Akoy, who came all the way from like Africa to play for Rooney, like escaping like and even other guys from Super Rugby, like in our back line. Like Rooney had a pretty great squad, and also Jack Hyatt in our Rooney's fly half. But it was no like from like the last 3 years, like was building up a pretty good team in terms of like the MLR in the East. I feel like the only team that really gave them competition was the New England Free Jacks with Bowden Waka. Like he ended up getting the MLR MVP, uh, I believe 2 years ago. He ended up getting injured in a playoff game against Rugby New York, and New York ended up winning getting past them and facing the Seattle Seawolves in Red Bull Stadium in New Jersey, which I actually attended. It was a pretty awesome game. But Rooney was doing their thing, executing their set piece pretty well, driving the mauls, and trying to be kings of the breakdown, not letting them get any too many poaches, getting over the ball, giving everyone support, even on line breaks. Rooney exited pretty well, had great kick chase. That's all all the recipe for winning, honestly, in rugby. It is executed. Everyone did their job, worked hard, and had the breakdowns, all of that stuff. But yeah, it was a pretty. But for all it lasted, Rooney was a pretty good team. But with the NBA, the Melo Ball has honestly been showing he's definitely a star in this league. He's been doing his thing with Charlotte, and Charlotte has a young core, um, a young strong core with like C.J. Washington, um, Book Knight, and Lamelo. Honestly, they're looking good so far. I feel like in the next 3 years, they should make a big trade. And what's it called? They ended up trading Terry Rozier to the Heat. He's been actually going off recently, but that's a great pickup for Heat. Honestly, what they needed is more of like shooters for their squad, and yeah, like they just needed like another shooting guard, a guy who can create for himself, get buckets, just a shot creator in general. I feel like the Heat need another center. I feel like Bam is more of like a power forward, but he can play center, but he's more like an undersized center. But if we have someone in the backup, I feel like we have I would say like a guy like Montrezl Harrell, or maybe like a DeAndre Ayton, or even like a Vucevic. Like this a big just to clog the lane so no one can like slashing point guards like John Morant, Westbrook, things like that don't have like an easy bucket to get it, or like a center like Jokic just boxing you down, fading away, like making their job a lot more difficult in that aspect. And But yeah, like even with the Nuggets, they got their first championship. uh, Jamal Murray, like playoff Jamal Murray, like he's just been getting buckets all, all. Whenever he's healthy, he's just getting buckets in the playoffs. Just showing how acrobatic he is with his fancy layups, 360 layups, all that stuff. And yeah, Jokic is showing why he's honestly the best center, arguably the best center. He's just almost averaging a triple double. He's gonna probably be the next triple double leader after Russell Westbrook retires. He's just getting like he's just a random center that can just distribute like he's a point guard, like a Magic Johnson while shooting a three. He's almost like a Dirk Nowitzki, like a Magic Johnson kind of player. And apparently, after Ricky Rubio retired, he actually signed a contract with Barcelona for his home country, which is pretty awesome. Like I guess basketball is just in his roots. He just I don't know, like it's kind of hard to just hang up the basketball after just knowing and playing it every single day since you're just like a kid. And that kind of stuff is like it's just like basketball, like it's sports in general, just means a lot to like all of these players. It would be like hard to just hang it up out of this nowhere, but it's good for him. But you with the Pelicans, like I see that Zion been he's been doing good, but I feel like Zion's not playing to his full capability. I feel like there's too much going around him. Like he's not really focused like solely on basketball. But then again, a lot of these players once they get to the league, is not really that much of a drive anymore. They finally made it. They um finally can take care of their family, provide like we're like they're just there, just living life. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what most teams want to see from their star, they still want to see that they have that drive. We're trying to reach the next level, try to get a championship or like a finals or playoffs appearance in general. But he's been doing good. He's a great slasher. Uh, this in general. He's um even so even with boxing also, I feel like this is a while ago, like when Francis Ngannou boxed Mike Tyson. Honestly, I felt like that was just an utter robbery. Like, how does some guy like this knock you get a knockdown and like even like the post picture fights of like each other's faces, like uh Tyson Fury got pretty messed up. Like Ngannou like got one knockdown on him, hit him with a lot more power punches. But like at the end of the day, what's it called? Tyson had more punches landed, which where they go off more of like who's gonna win the boxing match. But honestly, in a rematch, I feel like if Ngannou puts at least like 3 months of 3 more months of training, I feel like he's gonna be have a pretty good chance for this uh almost getting a unanimous decision or just even a knockout in general. I feel like honestly, yeah, he would just get that win after that because he definitely showed some better technique, pacing himself a lot better. He didn't seem that gassed out there. He looked very conditioned. Like And yeah, he, that was pretty good of him. Um, and with even celebrity boxing, it's now celebrity boxing is pretty funny, but yeah, like I saw that there was a guy named Not Logan Paul. Yeah, he was just taunting in the ring and all that stuff, but he ended up getting knocked out, which is kind of like you can't really just play boxing. You just gotta like it just seemed almost one sided at that point. But yeah, what's it called? But like even Jake Paul, like he lost to like Tommy Fury, and like KSI also lost to Tommy Fury in like a close match. But KSI felt like as if it was a very close match. Like it got like this ref scoring the cards. Like it still seemed a little off. Like it could have went either way in that aspect. But I feel like a good fight would be more. I would say, no, yeah, like Jake Paul and like KSI would be a good fight. I feel like KSI doesn't want to really take that fight. He has like more to lose in that aspect in terms of like on the internet. Like they just did more of the embarrassment of losing to like Jake Paul in boxing. But it's honestly been like a predicted fight for a while, but neither of them want to sign the contract. But yeah. Um and I saw like it was unfortunate news for Boston Red Sox legend Tim Wakefield. He actually died of brain cancer. I used to be like a good fan. I used to be like a baseball player myself. I used to like watch. Like, he was like a famous knuckleball pitcher in the league. Like, and I saw like that. I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, it was like crazy. Like, it just happened out of nowhere like that. What's it called? But yeah, condolences to like him and his family, all that stuff. Um, but yeah, like even with the I see with the Suns, the Phoenix Suns, like they have a good solid team. KD, Bradley Beal coming back from his injury, and Booker been going off. Like I saw that he dropped like I think a 60-point game the other night. Uh, I mean, honestly, the West is looking pretty stacked. I can't really tell if it's gonna be the Dallas or like the Suns or I doubt the Warriors are gonna go past. Yeah, I think the Warriors are not even in playoff contention. But I don't. I gotta really see it again. I think they're around like the middle bottom of the pack, something like that. But but yeah, we'll see. Like going forward, who's gonna do good in the playoffs. But Mm, but apparently, I've heard hearing rumors that what's it called? Taylor Swift is performing at the what's it called Super Bowl, uh, like for the Kansas City Chiefs and all that. I feel like yeah, there's gonna be definitely good marketing, bringing a lot of money. I feel like she has a lot of very loyal fans. Um, yeah, definitely bring. It'll probably be a solid show. Um, yeah, like what's it called? Yeah, it would be a good show, and hopefully the Chiefs get that win at the end of the day. Um, and what's it called? I think that and I saw oh yeah, Conor McGregor is making a return to the UFC. I saw that he has another fight date coming up in I believe May or June. He's fighting at a heavier weight than he usually does, but I see like he's looking like he's around like 190 pounds. He's gonna or 180. He's gonna fight at heavier than his usual. I think he fights at usually around like 155. It's gonna be a new challenge for him. He's gonna show that he's still got it. He's still Conor McGregor. He's not really taking a back step in terms of how good of a fighter he is in the UFC. And Dana White's gonna promote this fight pretty well. Uh, hopefully it's a good one. Um, what you call it? And what's it called? I felt like in college football there was a complete robbery of who was going to the playoffs. I feel like Florida State University got completely robbed. Like, how do you go 13-0 but don't get selected for the playoffs? That's honestly absurd. Like, you better than some of the it seems like Alabama. Like, I understand that Alabama is in a tougher conference, and they were 13-1 at the time, and FSU was 13-0, but they weren't playing as much competition. But I feel like even on paper, yeah, it's what's the criteria? Like, who's really making that deciding factor of who's gonna who deserves that playoff spot? But yeah, that it was kind of weird with how things really went about. And I feel like yeah, like even OKC, I feel like they have a really bright future. They got a lot of picks coming up. They got players like Shea Gillis Alexander, Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren. Like Chet's been showing like he honestly has a pretty good shot of beating Wemby for the Rookie of the Year, even though he got injured. Um, I think I believe like a pro am game before last season. He couldn't do his rookie season last year, but he's still eligible for Rookie of the Year this year because he didn't play a single game before this season. But yeah, they got a lot of shooters, young guys. They got a lot of rim protectors. I feel like within like 7 years, they could definitely have like trade for like a big superstar. But thank you for joining. This is Jordan McKenzie Sports. Have a good one.